Hello, everyone watching Citizens Network Gambia. My name is Babukar Si, and I'm your host on this special, of course, sports segment program where we are looking into the latest happenings in the world of sports, football in particular, and we are looking into the Gambia's 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Those of you watching us for the first time, Citizens Network Gambia is a platform, of course, dedicated for the sports lovers at most. Of course, we also talk about current affairs happenings in the country and the continent at large. But of course, we are sports biased. 75% of what we do has to do with sports. And I want to proudly say we are partnering Properties Gambia Real Estate. Of course, those of you watching and want to invest in property, we want to buy a land, you want to build, a property in the country, they are the most trusted company or institution in the Gambia that you can deal with. They are located at Bursubi Phase 2, and of course, these are the numbers that you can contact and get them for all your properties development in the country. And they have a special focus on the Gambians living in the diaspora. If you want to build a house, because if you want to buy a land, if you want to manage your property, Properties Gambia Real Estate is the only solution for you right now, because you all know we have a lot of problems when it comes to land issues, compound issues in the country. Deal with Properties Gambia Real Estate and be rest assured that you will be satisfied 100%, no doubt. On this special platform today, I have with me my namesake, Babakar Kurubali. Of course, he's a sports lover, a football administrator. On my immediate left is Bach Samba Sise, who is a coach. Also very close pal to Lakabaro. We were just telling him earlier that Pati Bagi Deve Bena site, definitely things are not fair. Black Asunyere Ken Kolegi Sidekavi. And the far left is, of course, one of us, of course, Andrew, Esa Andrew Jata, who is also a member, or part of Citizens Network Gambia. Gentlemen, welcome to this special edition where we want to look into our recent game against Seychelles in our quest for a qualification to 2026 FIFA World Cup, and our upcoming game against Gabon, which many believe will be the first test for coach Jonathan McKinstry. Let me start with you, of course, Babukar Kurubali. A very important game, first game for Johnny, and first comfortable victory, 5-1. But somebody that watched the game will say, well, this is Shashil's lowly rated team in football.
Well, thank you very much, Nai, for having me today. I think we are very impressed since Jonathan McKenzie has put pen to paper. It is not only about the games against Seychelles, but looking at Jonathan, since his inauguration and unveiling ceremony to his first press conference, I, as an individual, has very high hopes that he might and he will deliver to expectation if he continues with the trend that he is moving up. The fact that he understands exactly how Africa is, he understands exactly the concept of African football, and that notwithstanding, he was a key follower of the Gambian team and players outside before he put pen to paper. I think then that makes him a very good candidate, and that makes him a coach that will be able to deliver, knowing for the fact that he was following how this team was playing, how the other players were also monitoring the players. So for the game yesterday, I think it was a good game. We all know Seychelles is not a high-profile team, but that notwithstanding, the Gambia has put in a very respectable performance, not in the first half, but in the second half, and most especially. I think in the first half, it was just a matter of rusting things, want to humiliate them as quickly as possible, and knowing for the fact that they were teams that were considered 9, 10, 11, and thinking we can just come in the first half and bang. But football doesn't go like that. In as much as you're playing with an opponent, no matter how the opponent is, you must be respectful to the opponent. You must take your time and play in your own way to get those goals coming. And I think they have done that. They have, remedied that in the second half, and we can see the goals were coming. Some fans were saying, when the first half ended, some sent a message and said, how do we analyze this game? Things are not working. I said, well, it's too early. In the second half, goals will come. Because if you check the certain teams, they were playing 5 behind. So they knew that they are not a strong team. So playing with somebody, they need to be defensively disciplined behind. And that was what they did and trying to maintain the Gambia. But they could not contain us because of the power that we have in front of goal. But overall, to me, it was an impressive start. This is what we want, no matter the team. What was important is let's get our first win, and a proper test is coming against Gabon. But if we
Okay.
continue like this, we can get something out of it.
A proper test coming against Gabon. But from a coach's point of view, what do you think was the problem against Seychelles in the first half?
Yeah, Nani, players were a bit rusty and in a haste in the first period because knowing that the team conceded a lot of goals and for their past games, I think in their history they've won only 4 matches. So we they believe that they need to force things, but we scored an early goal and got conceded from a set piece, and that shows that the team really push for a goal, and the time that they have the goal, so they sit back more and defense. But players were so hasty for them to keep on scoring goals and having a comfortable victory at the end of the first half. But that doesn't materialize. But it's football. To me, like people says that Seychelles is not a test. But to be honest with you, Nana, yesterday we were comfortable. Like we've played against Djibouti. How was it in the Gambia before we qualified to AFCON in the preliminary rounds? Djibouti is a
It's a low-rated country,
low-rated team.
Mhm.
What was the end of the game? Scholar. We went on to penalties. We played against Sudan in chess.
Chess, yeah.
How was it? It was a narrow victory,
1-0.
1-0, and in the second half, Sudan played more than us. So people keep on saying that it's not a test, it's not a test. Come on, it's a international match, and 11v11.
There's no small country. now.
Yeah. There's no small country, and where do you need to test yourself? Where do you need to test yourself? We should not be in a moment of thinking that we need to have a bigger guns for us to know the level of the coach. No, we have a very good team, and now we're enjoying the fruit of playing and dominating football with possession, and players are keen onto their positions and tactically disciplined throughout the game. So these are some of the things that we were crying for, and these are things that we hoping to see in the near future. Like Nani, during the training sessions, like what we've seen within the technical team. To be honest, like it's something very impressive, and it shows that the coach IQ is to work within the technical team, and that will give him very best results because it's a new job, and he needs to deal with people that have been there for the past years for them to guide him at least 2 to 3 to 4 months. Then he will be leveled up, and from there he will take up responsibility fully.
Okay. Esa, beautiful football is what we've been yearning for. Tom Senfeld was winning games, but not playing beautiful football. And it's like these are things of the past now.
Yeah, Nani, like you said, for me, I am very impressed looking at the pattern of play that was shown in the game. You could understand what the players were trying to do. There's a clear pathway, like the coach mentioned. If you are heading to a certain point of a place, you need to have the patterns to show you where you are heading to. And yesterday game, that's what I was trying to look at. What are the patterns of play? You could see the ball was played from the back and trying to connect with the midfield, and the midfield trying to leave the ball early. And so, with that, it's not about the results for me. What is important is that playing and getting to understand what the boys are actually trying to do.
No, but we need the results as well.
Yeah, the results are important, but when you have good playing patterns, then the results will come in. It's simple as that. You cannot just play without pattern, and you cannot be watching a game and you are like confused. What are you trying to play? Are we trying to play long balls? But no, we could see actually what they were trying to do, and that's what impressed me. And looking at the coach taking the bold step to bring in young guns that have never represented.
That was going to be my next question. The
Yeah.
selection criteria he used, that was a bold step, huh?
Yeah,
A lot of new players in the team.
I was impressed with that. Looking at the details that he mentioned during the press conference, and after the press conference, people were still waiting to see. Oh, maybe he's just saying this to put the journalists aside, not to pressure him too much. But days later, he released the list, and everyone was happy to see some young guns, despite some of them did not play yet, like Adama Bojang, Seidiken. But we know they will being around the team only means a lot for those players, you know. Being close, looking at Adama, even with Laka, some people were posting it. the present and the future. Only that is something else,
It's appetizing.
Yeah, so it was good for me. Yeah.
And,
We hope for the
and as
best.
a coach, but I was gonna talk about the coming of these new players. Many believe this would have been done like years ago to give them the test of the national team because they are the future. But it never happened. We were relying on experience, too much experienced players. Sometimes we'll even see the coach bringing in players without clubs, which really, to many of us, we don't like. What do you make of the coming of this new crop of players?
Yeah, Nani, for the previous years, like our players' pathway were kind of slow. That give us the steadiness of so many players being called up even without minutes. So it's something that we were crying for. And me as a coach, to be honest, like if one day possibly I will coach the national team, I will one of the national
You have ambitions
teams.
of coaching
Yeah,
national
yeah.
team?
To be honest with you, Nani.
Well, we have a chance.
Wow, we have a
We have a
chance.
chance on being that.
You have a
Really?
chance.
Yeah, for sure, Nani. Because like that's my ambition. Because I'm a Gambian, I need to set up a legacy and set something before death.
Okay.
Yeah, these are something that I will never think of. Like me as a coach, like if you don't train in a week, 2 times in a week, you cannot be on my team selection. So I just don't understand how on earth will a player start for a year, two seasons without a club
And
and
you
being
still
called up. To be
invite
honest,
him for the
like
national team.
yeah, me as a coach, because national team is not a club. It's not a club whereby you give players a chance. Like you need to prove a part to be there, and for you proving your part, it should be based on your clubs. It should be based on merits. Like Nani, I could recall there was a game that Gambia played away, and we got Pamo Dejani was injured. I think. Yeah, we needed to call a left back. Instead, the coach went and called a midfielder, that's Ibrahim Sohla, and give him a chance to play. These are things that we were seeing, and it's not promising. And Nani, it's not like we've seen it even in England. The head coach sometimes he called Maguire without a minute in England. So I just don't know what.
Are you surprised
yeah,
Gambia we are taking the same path?
yeah. Like Nane, all I used to say is that we were not lucky to be colonized by the British because the dimension of football, the steps that the step that they use, it's the same way that we do it. Like, or come to think of it, now, like yesterday we could have Yankuba Minte scoring more than one goal. He was so rusty. He was so in a
He was in
haste.
a haste to
prove a
point.
point.
I don't know.
Yeah, to prove a point because of like every Gambian keeps on disturbing the lad. Yankuba is a very young and promising.
Trying to put him to a place that he did not reach.
Yeah, he's not up there yet. Players have pathway. He's a kid. Let them allow kids to develop properly.
Bro, Gambian ba mel nonu de.
Yeah,
Ajla fo xamantene ni.
Yeah, like that's true.
It's not helpful.
Yeah, loolu moo ñu nekk di disturb even in England. Da nga ci about just uprising a player being praised.
Are you talking about Kobe?
Kobe Minor.
Kobe Minor.
No, like that kid. To be honest, is a joy to watch. Despite I'm not a Manchester United fan,
We don't want you to go.
but like the way that they compare him onto his stats, that gives us a problem in the Gambia even here. Like kids are being praised, like that player Idrissa. He started yesterday. Some were saying that Dembo Serikan should be the one to start because many of the Gambian football lovers did not know Idrissa.
Yeah, honestly.
He is a top prospect in Senegal.
Yeah.
Gerard,
The last time they watched him was I think with Matar Mbouche.
Yeah. To be honest, like those are moments that fade away. He was even unknown to many Gambians during that period. To be honest, and yesterday he has a very good game. Very good game. And after all that they were saying, Cecil Dutas, then hard we play against Gabon. So it's like you are no why Nani like so hard at Gabon. The family come okay, yangi am this concept we might feel.
No.
Like okay, mama no la ko gisi.
Okay.
Because so when okay, come player be little test he was a joy to watch yesterday. Then hard game be. Then enjoy the what that we ate. And boo lekkatee boobu nga war a kontaanee dem ñu ne la élection fan la ñoo tooga and yow gisaguloo ko Aksengut, and you are celebrating. Whilst your belly was full onto the domoda. So these are things that we need to get rid of.
Okay.
Yeah, to be honest, like coach be like the way that he operates. To be honest, like Gisuma his TOR, while the involvement in coaches shows that. To be honest,
On
like
the technical bench alone, it's stopped, huh? I think, for now, huh? It's stopped, and
no, no,
you
no,
can see the work.
no,
And
no,
the camera, there were microphones near the bench, so you could, if you're watching the game, you'll
yeah.
hear. Chachko Mingenyo, Mingenyo, you can hear T-Boy there, you can hear Alaji Sar there, you know what I mean? So I'm like,
That wasn't
you know
happening.
what I mean?
That wasn't happening before.
Exactly.
That wasn't
But I'm
happening.
like, stop.
Yeah,
I
so
like it.
da nga gis ne nani Lee dafa nekk loo xamante ni okay like nani soo nekkee assistant coach in a team comme like example me assistant coach at GPA like man my presence can only be count in the absence of the coach. Kañ la coach bi de absent. Why when you have a TOR whereby the assistant coach is the head of trainers, the coach will deal directly
With the
with the
assistant
assistant coach, and the assistant coach will filter
to
the
the
philosophy
trainers
and
and
what
others
the
and
coach wants to.
wants.
The coach will work directly with the assistants. But like okay, so Tio Arbo Hamne come amut things like that. Like okay, there is no chain of work between the coach will work directly with the trainers.
And
And
leave
when that happens, the
the
assistant coach
assistant
will
will
be
be
sidelined.
useless. Yeah, will be
So these
useless.
are problems that I feel that we were facing because there wasn't a good TOR.
Okay. All right. Babukar, well, when they say the real test is against Gabon, I will not dismiss that claim as well because we are football lovers and we behave like our masters. You know what I mean? They take football for having the agagul, you
Absolutely.
know what I mean? But when they say the real test is against Gabon, at some point they might be right because looking into Seychelles, how many games have they won in the last 2 decades? I think one or two.
Yeah,
How many goals did they concede against teams like Ivory Coast? And these are the teams that we are competing against.
absolutely.
We have lost against Ivory Coast, and we are trying to remedy that in the return leg.
Yeah.
And if they say Gabon is the test, I want to agree with them.
Yeah. That is very, very right. To a footballing perspective, you will come to realize that you cannot compare Gabon with Seychelles. So Gambia will have it more tougher playing against Gabon than playing against Seychelles. But coming back to, as I said, this technical team and set of players that we have cannot be underestimated. They can get us any type of results in as much as football is concerned. But what is more impressive is about how the technical team is now set up, because the coach that we have understand that in the modern game of football, you must have a performance analyst coach, you must have a video analyst coach, you must have a very good, trainer and physiotherapy, and all these things are now brought up. For the Gambia have been playing, and even though with all due respect to the former Gava, we don't have these things on our bench. And these are modern football things that should happen. These are normal procedures that you should follow. You must be able to
Maybe
have.
if he has it, he wasn't making good
Yeah,
use of that.
but I don't even think we have that on our bench, because looking at our bench by then, you have
Do you want to remind us? Do you want to
yeah.
remind us,
Well,
please? Please don't
we
remind
just
us of
want,
it.
no, we just want to look at it. The Gambia was not having a performance analyst coach. That's the reality. They were not having a video analyst coach on the bench. I'm not sure outside the bench, but
Also,
on the bench seated, there was nothing like that. But in the modern game, as I said, you must have somebody on the bench who is looking at the performance of the players and will guide the coach to tell the coach, look, back is going down, but should be substituted maybe in the next 10,
you
15
have
minutes or
ratings
so.
now. You can have
Yeah,
online
of
ratings. Yeah,
course, you can have online.
yeah,
You have,
yeah.
then you can have the video analyst coach that will tell you, look, the team is now attacking us on the right
On the right
or on
or
the
on the left.
left. You will look at the opponents, the weaknesses, and also your weaknesses as a team as well. So if you have all these combinations, we expect the team to perform at a high level. Looking at also the likes of Alaji Sarr, when you look at the training, the model operandi that the coach used, it's like he is giving everybody a responsibility. And yesterday, Baj was just mentioning this, that Alaji Sarr is a specialist when it comes to set pieces, and that is known to every Gambian. So if you have that type of coach in your bench, you have to utilize it, because set pieces are just similar to having a clear goal chance. So if you have the likes of Musa Baro, who are very good on taking shots, then you have very good shot takers. You can have a team that anytime we have set pieces, the opponent is always thinking this could be another goal for us. But significantly, for Gabon, we are similar to them. We have the same players that are playing in top level, and so that makes it a
With the
test.
coming back of
How many players
Aubameyang.
do we have in stages that are playing top football? or in fact professional players.
No.
We have to even check that. But then if you have Gabon now, you will know that you are playing a particular country that has professionals, that have people that are playing in the top level football. So that is going to be a test for sure. So basically for now, we're impressed. What makes us impressed is, as they said earlier on, the coach is saying, look, we are going forward, but depending also on the team. You cannot go forward against all the teams. That has to be very clear. The identity of a team is what makes a team to be lively to watch. Yesterday, if you watch the team, you know that they want to go forward and they want to get the goals. But if you have also teams that are higher than the Gambia also, you also have to be disciplined behind and at least use your,
Tom's tactic.
Absolutely. No, you cannot go like Tom to that. I just want to.
There's what is called in football the Tom tactic.
Yeah, the Tom tactic.
But
that notwithstanding, we are seeing the identity. The identity is clear, and what is more good is like Jonathan is saying, forward together. It means everybody has to involve. The national team is everybody's own line. And be reminded that anybody in the national team there, you are representing this country.
The entire country.
Everybody has to, have an input into it. But we always want to make sure the input that we are giving are genuine. And when we are criticizing also, let it be genuine. You cannot just have 4 games against Seychelles and you want to say, no, Idrissa should be out, Dembo should come. You don't know what happened in training. Sometimes we just want to sit down and say Nani should take.
Talking about what happened in training, I know on the match list, it was Sesibi that was supposed to start.
Absolutely.
And later there was a change. Maybe Sesibi could have even got injured.
Yeah, so it's possible. So that is why when we are here, we don't know what is happening at the back. We just want to say that. But as I said, we are unfortunate to be colonized by the British and we have to speak like the way they do.
No, we speak like them, we criticize like them, we behave like them. I reminder that you're watching Citizens Network Gambia, and this is the Sports Hour where we're looking into Gambia's past game against Seychelles and the upcoming game against Gabon in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. We are partnering with, of course, Properties Gambia Real Estate, the trusted and only real estate in the Gambia that you can deal with and go to bed and sleep without no problems. If you want to purchase your land, or want to construct a house, or property dealings, please deal with Properties Gambia Real Estate. But like I'm not land you better have them Properties Gambia Real Estate.
Yeah, for sure. That
will be Properties Gambia. Boy, because honestly, there are a lot of properties, real estate content in the country. A lot of them, but again, there are a lot of troubles in the country.
Yeah.
But you want to be sure of getting the best one without no problems. Just filter in your money and go to bed. Properties Gambia Real Estate at the place.
Yeah, for sure. We'll look in the country.
Yeah, for sure.
How is he?
But Nani, like, Leon will contribute onto the upcoming game against Gabon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one thing I love with the team, like, is the confidence of play. Yeah, why then I'm a huge tax against Gabon. Nani, if you could recall, we have a huge issue with Gabon. Don't you?
Airport.
Airport.
And where are we playing this game?
We play inside Gabon.
Well, hang yo, call it.
Yeah, Nani, Lee lañu wara we are
playing against Gabon inside Gabon. I was thinking it's in Morocco.
No,
I haven't done my homework.
Yeah, Nani. So like these are things from Mother. It's good sometimes to reflect back.
You think they're gonna pay back? And Aubameyang is back in the squad.
Yeah, Aubameyang is back. He's on. Yeah, I'm a very good goal scoring length. Why Nani? We need to look up to things. Man, Mangi come across a comment. I think it's on Facebook. Someone was saying, "Man advanced party, Munjika Dembir Gabon."
Very important.
Before the team
arrives in Gabon. But it's very important, huh?
Yeah, it's very important because looking onto things like then I'm a huge issue. I think it was only 2020.
Yeah, not long ago. So now I guess like I'm that wound inside them still.
Gambi.
Hey.
But ñun dañ leen door top table we qualify.
So they're coming for a revenge.
Yeah, so then I guess like it's something long that like we need a video analysis more onto that game. Because like most of their players are still in the squad.
Yeah. And the mentality
of our boys.
And we have a lot of young boys.
Yeah. Because like I said, that game, most of the likes of Yankuba Minte, the likes of Kinum Tratsa, Nyom Adama, Nyom Dembo, they were the one that joins the team to also be on Lina boss celebrate.
Supporting and
Because
celebrating.
I think that was the last game.
Yes.
That was the
remember.
last game.
I
That was the
remember.
last game. It was during COVID. So like the entrance was restricted.
I remember.
Yeah. So now we need to look onto things and let the ministry put emphasis. And more than any like
But you only later. We're gonna have an advance party. Tomorrow is Monday.
yeah, tomorrow is Monday. But na nga gis ne comme feel a delegate amee njëriñ when the national team is traveling. Nani like not nekkul ku nekk amu na nekk delegate. Delegates of the national team should be someone ko xam ne it's well known and responsible with title nani.
To go and do your homework.
To go and do your homework nani. Am na yenn yoo xam ne suñ la bëggee maltreat like ñu gis la nani yow Baboucarr Nane si you the minister of youth and sport in the Gambia, minister of sport. Do you think that they will have the guts to do so? Even su nekkee ne dañ ko doon def sax it was something loo xam ne ko mun naa minimize with your presence. Mun naa minimize onto that. Nani like I could recall bu ñu demee bu ñoo play against Guinea biir AFCON Cameroon. Like yeah buñ no, it was Bafoussam. Bafoussam, yeah. We never play Bafoussam. It was, I think, around 9 to 10 hours drive. Bunyo it was near to 13 hours drive because then and that was on Monday. And Monday is called a ghost town in Cameroon by then because that time that country wasn't safe. So Monday la rebel day again to patrol on the street. Well, I guess okay, like incident boom happening. Fofu la respect the minister Bakary Badji still now because of the bold stand that he made. Su fa nekkutoon nani mun na ñëw wax leneen tey mun na nekk in the history book. So da nga gis ne like delegates matters. Minister mënoon naa wax ne okay comme like moom mun na jël flight travel waaye dafa join on the road. So da nga gis ne fii la delegates amee njëriñ. Yeah, because ñii dañ play a guy and we have an issue in the Gambia. So going forward, we need to look into that. Okay, boom happen because it's football. Sometimes mistake occur whereby come nekkotoon suñ fault because airports have procedures and protocols. Because Gambia foguma ne mus nañoo am any problem to maltreat any country that comes to ñun sax suñ opponent yi ñoom lañ dee gën a treat like VIP than even onto our players. So ñu ngi ñaan Yàlla comme loolu lu mel noonu bu mu xew. While we need to study this Gabon team, because this Gabon team is just like a one-man soldier. That's Aubameyang.
Who is back in the team again?
Who is back in the team. So like the weapons that we have, you can count in our attacking form. You can count up to 3 to 4. They can make the difference at any given time. But just like Nani Apapalumba, like it's not every time like we're going forward. There are some opponents that you come Gabon, you wounded against Ivory Coast. Yes. They're coming and hoping to get 3 points and Purmuna 9 points. So you can only penalize them onto their weaknesses, and their weaknesses needs a very tactical display and outplay. Overcome the opponent. Majorly an example onto this FA Cup final. Man City were all out trying to score Manchester United. What did the coach do? Dafa amuton striker. He just plays Rashford onto the flank and plays Garnacho onto the flank. When they have the ball, who do they look up to? It's those players. And those players are the players that bury the game so easily because of what their pace and what they have.
So how should we approach the Gabon game?
The Gabon game, I think, a quick counter attack. No, it's not about Weru. Man like Leguma Weru in a sense that man believe the best way to defend is to attack.
Yes, I agree.
If you allow your opponent to have moments into your half, you create danger for your own self. When you win the ball easily, play ball begin as a half. It's a question to ask. So those kind of moments, you should not allow your opponent to be comfortable onto your half.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Esa.
Yes.
We have a lot of young players in our squad. You know, the incident that we were talking about, but you could see 50% of the squad that we have right now play unchi game bobu noonu. Most of them were fans, well, they don't have the chance to be at the top level, or we're just watching the game. How should we approach this game inside Gabon? Hangaman def mas mo homework sa. How mo bir Gabon la sa. How should we approach Gabon inside Gabon?
I think it's going to be a good test for the team. Like you mentioned about the young lads, looking at the team, if you want to count the players that are there with experience, they are not much. So it's another test again to see how these young players can live up that expectation to be in the national team. It's another test. So here, as a young player, if you want to stay in the national team again, the Gabon game is the right game for you, mentally, physically. So that's why it's a game that comes with midfield dominance. Any team that dominates the midfield will surely win this game. Because it's a game, if you look at Gabon, their strength is from the midfield going to the forward. And they're looking at Aubameyang, who is going to be the threat for them. Now, looking at our team, we were talking about Idrissa. Idrissa, what I like about him is his pace, and he's good in the air. So I think with that,
his partner, a very experienced captain.
So we hope to see. Yesterday we have seen some lapses in the defense side. Omar was instead of closing coming close to Idrissa, he was drifting away. And the midfield, we need energy in the midfield. We need for us to win this game, we need to dominate the midfield. That's the key.
Like the Ibu Adams type.
Ibu Adams, we need him in that midfield for that energy.
No, I'm not saying we need him.
Yeah,
we
need
his
time. I'm telling you.
Stand in the choose.
No, I'm saying this because
we need that type, that energy.
Yeah, that energy. Because if you look at Alassane is good with the ball. Give him the ball, and he will do the passing.
But he will not fight for you.
He will not fight. Because no, he will not. So you look at Jaguar as well. He fights, but not to the extent of player like Ibu Adams, like you said. Let me not say we need Ibu Adams, but we need someone to come in there and fight. If we dominate the midfield, then it's quick. We have Yankuba Minte. The other side as well. Yes. And if Bada is going to play again, we need him to be clinical.
But we see Adama Sidibe, huh?
Yeah. So that's another.
I've watched Adama Sidibe for 5, 6, 7 minutes.
So this is.
I'm like, yeah, he's
the
form of his life.
When I was watching the game, someone was saying beside me, like, I think Bada, this should be the game he should show himself that I belong to this team and I need to play now. Because there are chances that
who was that individual?
there are chances he missed yesterday. Hassan will not miss those chances. This is the difference with Hassan.
And he's been, at the back, the feeder, our service just striker for quite a long.
So
this is the time that
he to take your. He could have scored yesterday.
And he came up at a time when another striker was coming up. Adama Sidibe is coming.
Adama is there.
Adama Bojang is given a chance. But Adama Sidibe really proved himself when he came yesterday.
Yeah. So
also is there. So honestly,
I think yesterday he could have scored easily 3 goals. So we need to be clinical and our dominance in the midfield.
Why player Timbu Bontam the play meeting? Fox or player Timbu Bass sometimes le fetch. Player Timbu Bontam. Player Timbu Bon. Hey, don't fetch. The play so fuck you but they so flow play. Look, they were playing 5 when we started. You're playing 5 so flow affairs here boy. So second half when the things were open, we came up with that.
I hope to see some changes in the midfield and some tactical changes. I'll not be surprised
against Gabon.
Against Gabon.
You feel the same?
Yeah, I feel the same. As we said, playing against Egypt and playing against Gabon is a huge difference, a massive difference. So we expect the coach to come with a different, dimension. It could be in midfield, in defense, wheresoever. But what people need to understand is we all watch these players play in club levels and see them play in the national team. They can be used in their clubs differently. And when they come to the national team, the approach can be different. But playing against Gabon, you need to know that they have the experience like the likes of Fofana, the like of Frank Kessie and others. So basically, as he said, you need to be very agile and vibrant in midfield. If you are not vibrant and agile in midfield, you might, concede an early goal. And this game is not going to be easy just for the fact of what Bachamba is the point that he is looking at. The other perspective is Gabon is on 6 points. Gambia now has 3 points. And they are all in the same, goal difference. 1+1+1. So if Gambia will win, it means they're aging Gabon.
Yes.
So they're going automatic to second. So Gabon would put that in mind. And also looking at the track record that they have between the Gambia and Gabon. So as you said, it's only, fishy and not, livable when you cannot dispute where Gambia is playing for the fact that we are not playing home. So you will not know whether the Gambia is playing away or home. It's always difficult for now. But we all know that Morocco is our home. Morocco is our second home now. We're used to play in Morocco. So basically, we're playing outside. and we know that they are going to have, the edge against us when it comes to number of fans coming out and stuff like that. But we can still hurt them. We can hurt them in the sense we have these young lads that when they are calm and focused, they can cause trouble. Our attack is absolutely good. As you mentioned, for Badamasi, he is the most senior striker now, apart from Ali Sow. He was there to deputize, Hassan Ceesay for quite a while. Now that he has a chance, he has to be on top of things anytime he's given the chance. Otherwise, these young lads, whenever they're given the chance, they're hungry. You can see it in their faces. And they have mentioned this. The likes of Dembo and Adam, when they were interviewed, they said they were looking up to this players when they were playing on qualifying for the team. Most of them were watching. That was about 2 years ago. Yeah. So if they have the privilege and the chance to come and train in the same setup with these players, it's a huge motivation for them. So if you give them a single chance, they can expose and maintain. And this national team, be reminded, is those who deliver are the people that will have the
That's what the coach said.
That is what he said. And we are going to hold him accountable for this. Nani, be reminded that this coach is paid by taxpayers' money. And it is the people that are paying, because government is the people. It's government of the people, by the people, and for the people. We are the people. So we are going to hold him accountable. We are not only stopping at, okay, he said this, and we stop there. And when the press conference was taking place, the coach was asked, who is your assistant? And he responded and said, everybody is my assistant. I still wanted the journalist to press him and tell us, look, we want to know your first assistant. But now it is getting clear, day by day,
as we go gradually,
we will know. It's not magic to know who is assistant or who is the first assistant. But what I can tell you is everybody is engaged. That is more important. You see, a head coach is just given the responsibility and the name is there. But if you don't work with your background staff, it's a joke. You look at the likes of Ancelotti. He depends on his son. You look at the likes of Pep Guardiola when he was with Arteta and all his assistants. Anytime he gets frustrated of how they play, he turns and said, look, what is going wrong? These are the people that are looking at the entire game. You are just looking at where the ball is, trying to focus on that. So what we are proud of is everybody is involved. And we have, the administrators now that are seated up and leaving the technicians to do the job. And I think this is beautiful.
That's all we have time for today's edition of Sports Hour on Citizens Network Gambia. Thank you, Esa Andrew Jata, Bachamba Sise, and Abubakar Kurubali for coming. Till we come your way next time, but a reminder that we are partnering Properties Gambia Real Estate for all your property dealings in the Gambia, both land, purchasing a house, or want to build a house, or want to rent your properties, contact Properties Real Gambia Estate, of course on these numbers, and then you'll be assured of, getting all your concerns fixed, without any hesitance. Particularly those of you outside the country, I know you have trust issues, but I can assure you 100% that Properties Gambia Real Estate is the solution for all your housing needs in the Gambia. Contact them now, and you thank me later. My name is Babu Garcia. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.